Hey everyone, we're gonna do 9.4 dividing by tens, hundreds, and thousands, day 2. So this is really just a continuation of yesterday's lesson when we divided by 10. Now we're gonna divide by 100 and then 1,000. So let's look at an example. I'm gonna go ahead and make my place value chart again. And I'm going to, I need to write smaller. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's take a look at this. If I have the number 3, oh brother, sorry. I feel like I want to do this sideways, but all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah. So if I have the number 3,000 and I divide by 100, then the digits are all going to shift 2 places. So the amount of zeros is the amount of places that the number shifts. So if it was to shift 2 places, that means this 0 would shift 2, this 0, this 0, and then the 3. So my answer would be 30. All right, now let's see what happens when I shift and I divide by 1,000. That means I'm going to shift it 3 places. So 3,000 would shift 1, 2, 3, and my answer would be 3. So then let's see what happens when I have the number 3 and I divide by 100. It's going to shift. So again, it's the decimal shifting 2 places, or you can think of it as the number shifting 2 places, and I have 3/100ths. And now if I was going to do 1,000, it would shift 3 places, and I would have 3,000th. All right, let's try some problems. So, excuse me, if I have the problem 308 divided by 100, that would be, here's the decimal, and it has to shift 2 places, so that would be 3 8/800ths. If I had 3.8 divided by 100, so then here it would be 2 places. Well, this becomes a 0, and the decimal is going to move here, so it's 0 38,000ths. And now I have 30 8/10ths divided by 100. Here's the decimal, shift 2 times, I would have 308,000ths. So really the key is to be neat and to see how many places we're shifting. Try some on your own. All right, go ahead and try these on your own. When you're ready, I'll give you the answers, so you can pause it now, work on them, and then when you're ready, you unpause, and here we go. So the decimal point in a whole number is always after the ones place. So if I'm going to move 2 decimal places, then it would be 4 and 7/10. Make sure you can see my decimal. Here we have 2 shifts. We have 407 thousandths. And here, 2 shifts, this becomes a 0, so it would be you're never going to see a problem like that because we haven't learned the 10 thousandths place in 5th grade. So this is a little preview of 6th grade, this one. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm going a little faster this time because, again, this is a bit of a review. So the next lesson is what we do when we multiply by multiples of 100 and 1,000. So let's look at, excuse me, 28 divided by 200. Well, that's the same thing as 28 divided by 2 divided by 100. So we can divide 28 by 2 first. Half of 20 is 10 and half of 8 is 4, so it's 14 divided by 100, which would be, decimal points here, 1, 2, 14 hundredths. All right, let's try another one. If I have 2.8 divided by 200, then that is 2.8 divided by 2 divided by 100, which is 2.8 divided by 2, which is 1.4, divided by 100, which equals 0 and 14 thousandths. You got it. We're going to do it one more time with the shift in place value. So now we have, we're going to do it times thousandths. So if we had 69 divided by 3 thousandths, that's the same thing as 69 divided by 3, divided by 1,000. 69 divided by 3. If you can't do it in your head, then do long division. But a third of 60 is 20, and a third of 9 is 3, so it's 23. And 23 divided by 1,000 is 23 thousandths. Okay, it's your turn to try now. Actually, no, sorry, 16 divided by 400. I'm going to help you a little bit. What would that be? That would be 16 divided by something divided by 100, which would be something divided by 100, which would be what? So then 16 divided by 400 would be what? Go ahead and try this one. And then we'll call this one number 1. And then I'll show you how to do it. So it's 16 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 divided by 100 is 4 hundredths. And so it is 4 hundredths. All right, these two, you're on your own. Try 1.6 divided by 400. And then try 36 divided by 4,000. Go ahead and pause it, try them out. Okay, I'll show you now. So you should unpause it. Make sure you're not just looking at me doing it, because you're really not going to learn as well as if you just think it through and do it on your own and then compare and see where you made mistakes, what thinking did you do compared to the thinking that I'm doing, and so on. So this would be 1.6 divided by 4, which is, and then divided by 100. So 1.6 divided by 4 would be 4 tenths, divided by 100 would be 1/2, would be 4 thousandths. And now this one would be 36 divided by 4, and then divide that by 1,000. So 36 divided by 4 would be 9, and 9 divided by 1,000 would be 9 thousandths. All right. Don't try to just do these in your head. Doing the arrows and writing out the thinking does help. And now we're at the end of day 2. Go ahead and do your workbook pages. Your workbook pages are page 35 to 38. But since it's day 2, you should have already done a couple pages of that. So just make sure it's all done now. And then we are done with lesson 9.4, dividing by tens, hundreds, and thousands. Thanks. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. Now that I'm turning it off, I'm seeing that it may have been cut off a little bit. I'm going to check the video.